All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at a little bit of synthetic division. We started to do this in class. We got a function here. It's negative 4x cubed plus 3x minus 5. And we're going to try and look and determine, is x equals 2 one of my zeros? Is that an x-intercept? We can do that by using synthetic division. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create that little L. So the 2, the 0, is going to go on the outside. All right, now I'm going to put all of my coefficients, the negative 4, and now it skips. It went from an exponent of 3, the cubed. It skips the squared function, so we got to use a placeholder. And then it goes down to the linear function, the 3x, and then it goes down to the constant term. So I'm going to put negative 4 as my first coefficient. That's my cubed. I skipped the x squared, so I'm going to use 0 as my placeholder. Then my linear function, the x, is going to be 3. And then my last one is going to be negative 5. Now, I made a little mistake there. I wrote x. I'm going to erase that in just 1 second. All right. So remember, this is going to be my 0 on the outside. All my coefficients are going to go on the inside. All right, now I'll erase that x in 1 second. We don't care about the x. We just want those numbers, those values. All right, first thing you have to do is you have to drop that negative 4. Drop the negative 4. That's the first value that we're going to start with. Now, this is going to be a repeat. Outside numbers get multiplied. Inside numbers get added. So multiply, then add. Multiply, then add. Multiply, then add. And we want to get down to where we exhausted all options, and we want to see if our remainder is going to be 0. All right, so I take negative 4 and multiply it to 2. I get negative 8. I'll add 0 and negative 8 and get negative 8. Now I'll multiply 2 and negative 8 and get negative 16. I'm going to go ahead and add those two numbers together and get negative 13. Now I'll multiply my outsides again. 2 and negative 13 gets me negative 26. I'll add my insides, negative 5 and negative 26, and get negative 31. All right, so that represents my remainder. Now, in order for a value to be a 0, we should get our remainder to be a 0. It should be equal to 0. All right, so what that now means is that x equaling 2, it's not a 0, it's not an x-intercept. It also means that x minus 2 is not a factor, right? Synthetic division, we got multiple ways to factor, GCF, our box method, and now we also have synthetic division. Synthetic division actually helps us factor polynomials, but in order to use synthetic division, we need a 0. 2 is not a 0, so we are not going to be able to factor this. This problem is done.